democracy. In Patna, the capital of the North Indian state of Bihar, thousands of people have assembled to watch Prime Minister Modi launch his campaign for re-election in the state. The excitement is palpable.
पराक्रमी भारत के लिए भारत माता की.
Behind the scenes of this festival-like atmosphere, experts have been sounding the alarm bells. Since the last general election in 2014, India's political parties, including the Prime Minister's Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP, have emerged as masters of digital manipulation. Most of them, including the opposition Congress, now have a social media wing, but critics believe that the BJP's team, better known as the IT cell, is far more organized. So I reached out to them and all requests for interviews were quickly denied. But there are 3,000 IT cell volunteers spread out across this rally, and I hoped some of them would be willing to discuss their work.
देखिए सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू हम लोग व्हाट्सएप हुआ, फेसबुक, ट्विटर और इंस्टाग्राम के थ्रू हम लोग सब जगह अपने प्रचार करेंगे नरेंद्र मोदी जी के लिए 2019 को लेकर. इस बार इलेक्शन में हम लोग जितना भी कैंपेन होगा वो सोशल मीडिया पर हमेशा छाए रहेंगे.
Then, in a stroke of good luck, I ran into Manish Pandey. He heads the BJP's IT cell for the state of Bihar. They are often accused of dishing out misinformation in an attempt to sway voters, a charge that Pandey immediately brushed aside.
हमारा प्रोडक्ट जिसका नाम है मोदी, ये प्रोडक्ट हमारा ऐसा है कि फुटपाथ पे भी खड़ा होकर कोई बंदा बेच लेगा. ठीक है, इसकी विश्वसनीयता इतनी ज़बरदस्त है कि इसके लिए इसको कोई शोरूम खोलने की ज़रूरत है नहीं. तो मोदी अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा ब्रांड है, एक अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा प्रोडक्ट है, तो इसको फेक करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है.
But he explained that he had personally overseen the setting up of thousands of WhatsApp groups, each with nearly 250 members.
50,000 के ऊपर जो है सो हमारा ग्रुप्स है जो व्हाट्सएप के रूप में है. जो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप हम लोगों ने ऑफिशियली जो मेंटेन कर रखा है, ये फैक्ट्स जो है हो सकता है प्रिंट मीडिया लोगों तक ना पहुंचा पाए, या कुछ ऐसी मीडिया जो हमको लाइक नहीं करती वो लोगों तक वो फैक्ट्स नहीं पहुंचा पाए. तो ये हम सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से अपने वॉलंटियर्स के माध्यम से हम उन तक पहुंचा पाते हैं लोगों तक.
Over 230 million people use WhatsApp in India. And many of them have been added to partisan groups that disseminate misinformation and provoke sectarian tensions. Nobody understands better how this works than 25-year-old Shivam Shankar Singh, a whistleblower who was a key member of the BJP's data analytics department until he suddenly quit a year ago.
The narrative of the party during the 2014 elections was centered around development and अच्छे दिन आने वाले, good days are about to come. Messaging like that slowly died out in the party, and if you look at messaging today, it's about how we are going to save the Hindu population of the country, how we are fighting against Pakistan, how there are anti-nationals and urban Naxals and communists trying to take over the country, and how we are going to save you from all of this. All of these are constructed enemies that the party has created to basically alliance with the voters and manipulate them into voting for the party just based on emotions. That is what the party is banking upon now, and that is why I ended up resigning.
Critics like Shivam allege that the BJP's shifting narrative is contributing to the flood of misinformation in India.
अंदर हम लोग बिहार वाला डिस्कस कर लेते हैं पूरा.
He now consults with a group of opposition politicians in the state of Bihar, helping them devise a digital strategy to counter the BJP, which is miles ahead in the game.
अब हम लोग को मल्टीपल सॉन्ग्स निकाल देना होगा. जितना भी इश्यूज पे निकल जाए, फार्मर्स पे निकल जाए, यूथ पे निकल जाए, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट पे स्पेसिफिक सॉन्ग निकल जाए, ये जितना वायरल करवा सके उतना बेनिफिशियल रहेगा.
Shivam alleges that when he was with the BJP, he was tasked with collecting a large amount of personal data to profile voters. These data sets were then used to add people to different WhatsApp group chats based on their interests or their prejudices.
So a lot of data is in the public domain that's provided by the Election Commission itself. The biggest one is the voter roll. What the voter roll has is the person's name, age, the area that they live in, their gender, their household information, and their voter number. In a large part of India, you can get people's castes and religions just with their name. Because if it's a Muslim name, you know that person's probably a Muslim. So with just that, you can get to a 65-70% accuracy. With this, you can also map other data sets, including, say, electricity bills, which give you a great idea of socioeconomic status, because whoever's richer usually has a higher electricity bill because they have air conditioning. Plus, you have things like phone numbers that are available surprisingly easily in India. If you can map that to the electoral roll, then you basically have a direct way to message people based on their caste, their religion, their age group, and the booth they belong to.
The lack of data protection laws in India means that such methods are not strictly illegal. But Shivam was disturbed by the kind of unethical micro-targeting he witnessed.
The problem arises when you start using the exact same available data to basically create divide in society and to polarize people. What started happening is that there is a very concerted effort to create a divide between Hindus and Muslims, to create a divide between specific caste groups. BJP has very specific kind of messaging that it wants to get across. It wants to get across the messaging that Muslims will overtake the Hindu population. None of it is true. But the thing is, just because the messaging goes to such a small subset of people that you already know are primed to believe that messaging. So the thing is, if you can profile people and identify what kind of messaging they're likely to believe, you can skew their perception of reality in a specific way with a specific kind of messaging campaign. It doesn't happen instantly. It's not one piece of fake news that's going to convince you of something. But if you're bombarded with fake news pointed to a specific direction for months on end, it does start to influence you.